We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this.
And what this is from the Black Eyed Susan Spice Company, it is the Death by Chocolate hot sauce. This is the mild one. I thought I had ordered the hot. This is what I got. And it's fine. It's fine. We'll roll with it. I am going to get the hot. I'm going to find the hot and acquire the hot, and I'm going to have the hot and taste the hot. In a way, this is good because now I have a really good basis of comparison. So I'm not upset at all that. All right. So maybe a little miffed that I didn't get the one I thought I ordered, but not overly. And we'll get into that here momentarily. But let's take a look at the ingredients. We have the trendiest vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and we have. Is that part of the thing? Well, maybe not. So we have apples, carrots, canned peaches, and molasses, garlic, kosher salt, chocolate habanero mash. These parentheses. Okay, we have cocoa, spices, and natural smoke flavor. So I know what you're thinking. Maybe I don't actually. But if you're thinking what I'm thinking, you're thinking this looks a lot like a mole. And you wouldn't be wrong if you thought that. That's what I think too. It smells like a mole. It's thick. It's a thick sauce like a mole. Look at this. Yes. Gorgeous color. Boy, I could... Even though the spices are way at the end, I could just smell them wafting off of this. One of them, I'm pretty sure, is clove. Possibly there is some nutmeg in there as well. Very, 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 very interesting sort of thing to put out there, I think. Looks good, though. It looks really good as far as a mole. But you can also, like a lot of moles, you can use as taco sauces as well. I think this functions much better as a Mexican style sauce, to be sure, to be clear, to be certain. So in that realm, that's of course where moles fit. So, but all right, let's take a little peek here. Let's get on into this, shall we? We get some of the subtle fruitiness, a lot of the spices, a little tinge of the coconut, and it's a mild. There's not a lot of heat here. I would say, it's probably a 1 for me. And I think I'm being a little generous with that. It's a really, really, really rich and complex sauce, though. I quite enjoy this. This is really cool. So, moles often will be used to sort of smother things. And so it's more of a soy sauce than a hot sauce, which a hot sauce tends to be used as a condiment. Unless you're Trier and you dump an entire bottle on a single barbecue pulled pork sandwich, for instance, but we don't do that here because I'm probably a foodie before I'm a chili head. Certainly both are important to me, but, I don't eat hot sauce with every single thing I eat. I don't know if anybody does. I certainly don't. So there are foods that I like as foods without additives, so there's a number of things I don't add hot sauce too. I like it when I can, but it's not necessary for me to do that. So we're just gonna throw it right on top here. These are just pork tamales, nothing too crazy here. It amazes me that you can have. So I think I've said before, Mexican style food I think is a very, I don't want to say polarizing. It's a very specific sort of flavoring system. When you have things that work within it, it's Asian food for the most part is as well. And when you have something that distinctive, it gets narrow as to which sauces are going to work well there, which flavors actually are going to work well there. But here, we have a lot of things going on in the sauce. Fruitiness, sort of a cocoa, light, very light cocoa. And these spices, which are reminiscent of something we're going to get to a little bit later in this video. But it all blends together so spectacular. It is fantastic on tamales. And I've whipped through not quite half the bottle just playing around with stuff. I am going to go find some tacos and try it on that. Try it on some burritos. I'm going to have myself probably it'll be a party where I wind up using the rest of the bottle if I had to guess, but just a number of different things I want to try it on. The complexity, for instance, I don't think worked especially well on chicken tendies. But I didn't really, most Mexican style sauces are not what I want on my chicken tendies anyway. So, that's a given, I guess. But just all these amazing flavors, it just blows me away that they mesh so well with what is very sort of distinctively flavored Mexican style food, these tamales. I know a lot of other countries make tamales as well. Guatemala, in particular, has I think some really interesting takes on tamales themselves. Very distinctive stuff. It's hard for me to come across those, but so when I call it Mexican style, I'm not meaning strictly Mexico only. So we got some interesting. I'll show you this here. So we got some interesting. Hopefully, you guys can see that some separation here. You guys see the separation of the sauce there? That's kind of wild. It is a sauce that there's no emulsifiers here, so it does need some agitation, but Black Eyed Susan is one that came across my radar. Oh man, it's a while ago now. But back when I could still access the messages on Facebook from Roger over at Burn Your Tongue, I seem to recall him saying he was bringing this online, and I looked into it briefly at the time, but I had other stuff I was, ahead of it, so. I love the name of the company. I love the logo, the pirate theme. I thought all that was pretty cool. Death by Chocolate to me, suggested, and I've had some spicy fudges and stuff on the channel. You can check through the spicy sweets playlist for those. That's what I was thinking it would be. I was like, a chocolate hot sauce. I don't eat ice cream a lot. Where else am I going to use it? And I don't even. I might have picked this up off his shelves. I don't actually remember where I got this. It might have been another one where I needed to get a couple bucks on there for shipping from somewhere. And even though I didn't get the hot, I'm glad I decided to pull the trigger on trying to get one of these, one of these sauces. This is quite good. I'm really interested in other stuff from their line too. I'm gonna keep an eye out for them for sure. I know they have a hot version of this, which I'm really, really interested in. Because the one thing this is a touch light on is heat. Again, I mean, it's mild. I can't. It feels like I feel like I'm saying that as a critique, and I'm not. It's not a critique. This is saying it's mild. It's not supposed to be hot. No problem there. Maybe I grabbed the wrong bottle. Maybe I put the wrong one in the cart. I mean, hell, I don't know what exactly happened there, but it could be my mistake. In any event, this has been, I mean, quite enjoyable, but I don't want to come across as a critique that I'm saying something that states itself to be mild. I don't want it to seem like I'm bitching about there not being heat there, because there shouldn't be heat there, right? So, but I would like more heat. I would have liked this to have been somewhat hotter. So, one of the flavors I kept getting, flavor notes I kept getting there, reminded me of a fruitcake. So notes of cloves, maybe a little bit of nutmeg, possibly, I don't know. It just says vaguely spices, which is, I mean, completely meaningless or not. This is a very complicated sauce, though, very complex in the flavor profile, so I'm guessing there's a lot of different spices in there. Yeah, okay, fruitcake. Well, you can see I haven't switched over to the longer sleeve shirts that I usually do these videos in when it's winter. It's still getting into fall, so it's still relatively warm outside. So, long story short, I couldn't find a cheesecake at the store before getting ready to film this. So, what I did find was this, which is a orange cranberry bread. And I thought, it's probably got some of the same stuff, probably close enough. It isn't. It's not like a fruitcake at all. I might get a fruitcake just to try this out if this bottle lasts long enough for this. I don't think it will, though. I quite like using this on these Mexican-style foods, and I like using a lot of it also. This is just a tremendous, tremendous flavored sauce. Like, the dynamic it's going for, I think it hits it pretty completely. And you could use this as an actual mole if you were inclined to make that. It's a little bit sweet. It's got some of those complex flavors in there. It does have sort of a chocolate habanero. Like the flavor aspect is there. The heat isn't, but the flavor aspect is. So I'm really, really, really curious. My next big order is definitely going to have the hot version of this in it. So anyway, I wanted to let this soak in for a second. So let's get into this. This is not particularly a sweet sauce. There are elements of sweetness to it. What's interesting is the flavor is so good, but this is where it melds. This sort of cakeish bread, whatever it is, sort of meld with those spices I was looking at as reminiscent of a fruitcake. Don't use this as a dessert sauce. This just reminded me of that. And for instance, this one I should have agitated a bit better, I think, because I'm getting a lot of sour notes. When I originally tried this bread, it actually melded with the sauce a little bit better. But I would absolutely try this on a fruitcake. But let me be clear, it is not a sweet sauce. So if you try to put it like on ice cream or something, that'd be bad actually. But if you, like I said, I think, and fruitcakes aren't hugely sweet anyway, I think you get a really nice melding of flavors there. I believe anyway. And maybe, like I said, if I have enough of this left, by the time the fruitcakes go on clearance, because I don't usually like them well enough to buy them on, full price, and it's just probably gonna be me eating the whole damn thing anyway. So I don't like fruitcake that much. So I may or may not do that. We'll see. This may or not even last that long. We're down to the halfway point. Let me see that. We're down to the halfway point now on this. And just playing around with this. You can use a lot of it. There's a lot of good flavors there. It provides some interesting contrast to a lot of the foods that you try to have it on. Which, not every sauce can do that. Sometimes you get a contrast that goes overboard and clashes. This one just presents a sort of uniqueness. So it just really straddles worlds really effectively well. I don't always think that sauces that say they're getting scobies like this one does, I don't think that some of the other sauces I see are like SCOBY this and SCOBY. I know how some of those contests work. And so the awarding of stuff like that is almost completely meaningless to me. So, you kind of see the Wizard of Oz behind the curtains, right? So, but anyway, in this case, I would say it is completely justified. It's a fantastic sauce. And if you just want to stick your toes into it, this mild is a really accessible sauce. Again, if you're looking for sort of maybe to wrap your own mind around what's the difference between a mole and a regular sauce or a hot sauce, pick up a bottle of this. The illustration could not be more clear. Yeah, definitely outstanding work here. I'm looking forward to more stuff from them. But there it is, the Black Eyed Susan Death by Chocolate Mild Hot Sauce.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.